Dark School presents Dividing Algebraic Expressions. When you want to divide one algebraic expression with another, the first step is to rewrite that division as a fraction. So if E1 is the first expression to be divided with expression E2, we rewrite that as E1 over E2, the fraction. And then go on to factorize the numerator. Factorize, that means resolve into its factors, and factorize the denominator, resolve the denominator into its factors, and then cross off common factors. The leftover is your answer. Let me show you a few examples. Let's say we want to divide the expression 2x squared plus 6x, all of that to be divided with 2x. Like I said, the first step is to rewrite this as a fraction. The dividend on the top, so we have 2x squared plus 6x on the top, divided with 2x, the divisor. The denominator 2x is already factorized. Now if you look at the two terms in the numerator, 2x squared is nothing but 2 times x plus 6x is 3 times 2 times x. So there's a 2 common between them, and there's also x common between them. So the common factor is 2x. If you take that out, the leftover, that is this x plus a 3, becomes the other factor. And if you want to divide that with 2x, a 2x divided with a 2x, cross off the 2 with the 2x with the x, provided x is not equal to 0. If x were to be equal to 0, the division wouldn't have any meaning because you would be dividing with 0. That's not allowed in math. So assuming x is not 0, you can cross off x from the numerator and from the denominator, and the 2 from the numerator and the denominator, of course. So this is effectively x plus 3 over 1, which is equal to x plus 3. Let's try another one. Let's say we have a rectangle, and it's given that the length of the rectangle is 8x squared plus 40x plus 40. And let's also say that the area of the rectangle is given by the expression 6x squared plus 30x plus 30. So we have the area, we have the length. Can we find out the width of the rectangle? We know that the area of a rectangle is given by the product of its length and width, and therefore the width is always equal to the area divided by the length. We know the area, that's 6x squared plus 30x plus 30, and that needs to be divided with the length, which is 8x squared plus 40x plus 40. Time for us to factorize the numerator and the denominator. Now if you look at the three terms on the numerator, you'll probably come to realize that there's a 6 on all three of them. 30 is 6 times 5, and again this 30 is 6 times 5. Similarly, on the denominator, we have an 8 on all three terms. So 6 on the numerator and 8 on the denominator become the common factors, which means you can rewrite the numerator as 6 times. If you take a 6 out from 6x squared, you're left with x squared, plus if you take a 6 from 30x, all you have is 5x, because 6 times 5 is 30. And then again plus 5 because of the constant term 30. Similarly, on the denominator, if you take the 8 out, you're left with the x squared, plus if you take 8 out of a 40x, you're left with a 5x, plus Again a 5 over here for the constant term. Now, if you look at the factored form of the numerator and the denominator, you will notice that there's a common factor between them, which is x squared plus 5x plus 5. And assuming that's not equal to 0, you can cross off the common factors. A number divided by itself is 1, provided that number is not 0. And therefore this is going to be equal to 6 over 8 times 1, which is 6 over 8. Divide the numerator and the denominator with the greatest common factor, which is 2, and therefore the final answer is 3 on the top, 4 on the bottom. Therefore the width of this rectangle is 3/4 units.